We're fast approaching Christmas here in the south of France. Up next, we have British Ambassador to France, Ed Llewellyn. He's kindly agreed to pop in on this episode to share a Christmas message, a kind of reflection of 2017 and looking forward into 2018. I first met him back in November 2017. You may remember that the embassy and the consulate teams visited Nice as part of their French tour. These were free meetings with British expats here, chatting Brexit among other things, and I summed that meeting up in episode 25. So if you missed that, you can actually go back and listen to it via rivierafirefly.com/25. Let's roll.
Having successfully launched 3 businesses, bilingual mum to 2 and entrepreneur Antonia Bowes-Brown has connected with thousands of people, both French and international, since moving to the French Riviera. These connections allow her to speak with successful local businesses and inspirational people about life here on the Côte d'Azur and share it with you. Welcome to the Riviera Firefly podcast with your host, entrepreneur, and my mum, Antonia Bowes-Brown.
This episode is the penultimate episode of the year and part of this short festive series where we've been talking to experts residing here in France, helping us to get into the Christmas spirit with festive preparations. And of course these are the perfect accompaniment as you wrap your presents, get baking, or perhaps you're out jogging it all off. Bienvenue. Things that we've covered with local experts have been things like fine wines and champagnes in episode 27, sausages, turkeys and all things meat, even gluten-free in episode 28. So I do hope that there have been things there to help you get underway and ready. This time of year is about friends and family, and that can mean for some of us that it is stressful and it could be lonely, and for them therefore it's a difficult time. You might not feel loved or cared for. And I wanted you to know that I'm running a thread in our free community group, which is Côte d'Azur Living on Facebook. We have nearly 8,000 members now in that group. I'm going to pin it in that group, and it's going to be pinned to this podcast episode over the festive period. Please feel free to check in on it. We are a really friendly Anglo community there for you, stretching out as far as Italy and all the way down into Provence. And if you are feeling lonely or stressed and you need some help, you want some contact, there are people there literally at the end of a computer screen that can help you. Don't suffer in silence. Reach out if you need us, or give help if you see someone's got a call out for help. This time of year is also a perfect time of year to pop in on an elderly neighbour. Make contact, drop in a Christmas card, let them know that you're around. You could also join the Neighbourhood Watch scheme. I'm going to put the link to that in the show notes. You can become an organiser. It's a great way to meet your new neighbours, and you can download the flyers and pop them through the letterbox, or use it as an opportunity to knock on their door and say hi and get to know your neighbours. Keep thinking about safety at this time of year. Unfortunately, burglaries are on the rise. Tell a neighbour that you're going to be away. And did you know you can actually go to your local police station and tell them that you are going to be away, and they will ensure that they keep an eye on your property and drive past, etc. while you're away. Voila, so that's just a little bit of safety announcements before we get going. Anyway, I'm going to hand you over now to Ambassador Llewellyn. Enjoy this next message.
Well, I'd like to welcome Ambassador Llewellyn to the Riviera Firefly podcast. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, I recently met you when you were touring down in Nice. You've been very busy going around the country explaining where things stand for us Brits here in France on Brexit. And you kindly agreed to pop on this podcast to give us a little Christmas message and reflect on 2017. So I just wondered what your thoughts were on this year, which I imagine has been quite a busy year for you in the embassy.
It has been a busy year for us all here in the embassy in Paris, and for our consulates in Bordeaux and Marseille, and our trade office in Lyon. It's been, for me, a first full year here as the ambassador, getting out across the country, as you say, and meeting lots of Brits as well as obviously French people as well. It's been a remarkable year. We had earlier in the year, as you may have seen, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince William and Catherine were here in March. That was a spectacular visit to Paris. Created a real buzz and energy, and we used it to launch our Les Voisins campaign, celebrating the ties between Britain and France. And it's been a busy year ever since. We've had a number of things here at the embassy. We did some films of Jane Austen al fresco in the garden during the summer. And as you say, a lot of meetings across the country. I had one here in Paris last night, but also in Toulouse, Lyon, Strasbourg, Nice, and more to come in the new year.
So you're clocking up those air miles this year.
UGV miles.
Using the local transport. Very good. So we're coming into the holiday season here, and I just thought it would be a great moment actually for the Foreign Commonwealth Office to share a message with us Brits here in France, reflecting on things and also looking to 2018.
Yes. Well, first of all, I think the first thing to say is, we're heading into the Christmas period. It's a very exciting period. I always find this time of year, and I'm sure many of your listeners do too, kids getting ready for Christmas. Their lists of present requests are getting longer by the day. But I always think Christmas is such a magical time, and that I hope people listening to this podcast get a bit of a break over Christmas, or if they can't, that they manage to get a break in the new year. Obviously, it's a busy time, and the Brexit negotiations are underway. I know it's a time of uncertainty for many British citizens living here in France, and we'll continue to do our best to stay in touch and answer your questions as we head into the new year.
That's great. And I really hope that once the ink is dry, that we can get back in contact with you and sort of hear a little bit more in detail from you, because I think that when we are watching the media, there's a lot of scaremongering that's going on out there, and the message isn't necessarily also 100%. So I'd love to get back in contact with you to get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I know too that there are ways that people can get the latest correct information from you. One is your newsletter, Voisin Voices, but what other ways can people stay informed with you to make sure that they are getting 100% correct information?
Well, I think there are a number of ways. The first is to go on the British government's website, which is gov.uk. Our Voisin Voices newsletter is regularly published on that, but it also has a big section on living in France and also on the state of play in the Brexit negotiations, particularly with regard to British citizens living elsewhere in the European Union. So gov.uk, and also our embassy's Facebook page, our Twitter account, UK and France, and also my own Twitter account, Ed Llewellyn FCO. All those are ways to stay in touch with us and follow what we're saying and doing.
Excellent. And I'm sure that you want a great deal for us Brits as part of Brexit for Christmas. But other than that, what's on Ambassador Llewellyn's Christmas list with Santa this year?
That's a very good question. I hope it'll be possible to get a bit of a break and time with the family over Christmas and time with the kids. And looking into the new year, rather work focused, but we'll be having a Franco-British summit, the first in a couple of years, as we head into 2018. So I'm very focused on that at the moment.
Well, thank you, Ambassador. I'm sure you've got plenty to be getting on with right now. So I really appreciate you dropping into the Riviera Firefly podcast. And we've got everything crossed for a great deal for all the Brits out here and for everyone to have a great holiday season. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Happy Christmas.
What a lovely end to what's been a really great year. The Riviera Firefly team would like to thank you all for listening in, for your sharing, for liking our episodes. It's been great meeting you all at the various end of year parties and hearing your stories, some of which I look forward to sharing next year. Feedback has been really heartwarming. Whatever you believe in, what energy, what power you believe in over the holiday period, for me, having just left the cinema, I think it's going to have to be Jedi Force. We are wishing you all hope, health and happiness. Enjoy this festive period. Thanks for tuning in. It's a wrap.
Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, review it, and share it with your friends.